good evening, everyone, and welcome back, Dice Roll fans, to D&D Self-Diceolation, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. I am Tom, and I'm going to be your Dungeon Master for this evening. Joining me once again are some of our usual band of adventurers. Please introduce yourselves and tell the folks what your ideal night out would be.
Hi, I'm Bagerac. I'm the Half-Orc Barbarian, and my perfect night out would be lots of ale, fire, and brawling.
Hi, I'm Faye, the Changeling Blood Hunter. My ideal night would be packed with lots of different people, but I'd be the only one left alive.
Hi, I'm Magemak, the Warforged Warlock. My ideal night out is provoking my brother into winning my card games so we can stitch up the locals and gain some coin. Atticus likes to join in and sneak peek their hands.
Hi there, I'm Natasha Bardingfield, and I am a fast-talking, not today though, a fast-talking, where's it gone? The fast-talking Lightfoot Halfling Bard, and my ideal night out would be good food, good drink, good music, good gold, and a roaring fire on top of the inn that we encountered.
Fantastic. So, last time you helped Natasha's old colleague, Qualcosa Cromwell, put on a unique performance of the play I Dream of a Hero at the Meandering Squirrel Theatre. Despite the show ending with you putting down a somewhat offended theatrical spirit, the various attending critics and nobles appeared very impressed. You then headed off into the evening with Qualcosa to celebrate your success. After hitting up a string of taverns and various other more esoteric night spots, you finally found your way back to the theatre and retired using the magical key back into Vasily's elemental abode. So, you're all waking up feeling suitably groggy. Let's see how groggy by having all of you just make me a constitution check, please.
Saving throw or just check?
Just a constitution check, just to see generally what sort of state you're waking up in.
Oh yeah.
Seven.
7.
So 7.
I got a 20.
Okay.
Also 20.
Okay.
Just me and Natasha are used to partying.
Yeah, I was going to say the two of you.
That's what's up.
Two of you hedonists are slightly more prepared for what the day brings.
Evening of debauchery.
Magemak, your new body is not quite used to partying. Whilst you're not so much hungover, you are aware of a certain amount of additional wear and tear that you've got to take care of on your frame. Faye, what did you guess?
A 7 also.
A 7. Yeah, you've got a roaring headache. And so, you start gathering your bits and pieces, putting on your gear, checking your weapons and equipment. And as you go through your pockets, you are slightly upset to find that you spent a little bit more than you were anticipating last night. If you can all knock off 15 gold pieces from your inventories, please. Because everyone knows you very rarely come back from a night out with as much change in your pockets as you remember.
I don't know, Natasha
leaving
probably
with.
comes back with more.
Yeah, can I not? I've spent the day pickpocketing. Yeah.
I'd say, given your natural aptitude, you did manage to pickpocket a few of the locals, but your net loss is still 15 gold. You were just more.
That is also
else.
fair.
Just more flamboyant with your spending.
Of course.
Yeah, you ponied up for some of the dancers that evening.
She's the Duchess after all.
Natasha just going, no, you can keep your ale. I would like something top shelf, please.
As you're going through your pockets and just checking that everything is there or not there in the case of your funds. Each of you find a crumpled up piece of paper in your pockets. And opening up and smoothing it out, you can see in a very very legible and quite elegant hand is written on these scraps of paper: the sword and board inn, midday, be there, or the authorities will find out what really happened to Dominic Rosewood.
Does that
Oh,
name mean something to us? Or have I forgotten something?
you have forgotten
That was
something.
the guy you killed who made.
It was the guy from Apple.
Yeah,
Who?
he made those mechanical robot with the green.
Oh, yeah.
It's-
Call back.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was a while
Yeah.
ago, wasn't
It was a while ago. It was almost like they knew what we did last summer.
it?
Wasn't he the one that you literally murdered that they tried to stop you murdering?
I have murdered a lot of people.
I don't know. I used to join in.
The list's getting quite long at this stage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm not keeping a ledger.
through the headache and sort of general fugue state that you've found yourself in, you do remember murdering Dominic after finding an arm in their research lab
Yes, I
with
remember now.
a particular marking on it.
Dominic.
So you're all sort of assembled in the kind of like foyer area inside of the elemental abode. Lours, Relaxio, and James don't appear to have emerged. You just about managed to recall that they were basically horizontal by the time they got home, so they're probably going to be sleeping that off for most of the day.
I'm totally fine with people knowing that I killed this guy. So like, I don't find this note particularly threatening.
I can't believe you've done this.
Can you not? I can.
Who on earth would have even have noticed? There was only like 10 of us that went in there.
Kill this person as well, mop up the chain. All in favour of killing them?
You're always in favour of killing something.
That's two there. At least two of us put our hands up.
Yeah, putting your hands up works great for an audio medium.
I'm just going with, Bagerac's gut feeling of too many headaches. Just kill it and get it out of the way. Let's go.
My very rustic and tired arms are not lifting for you today.
Oh, conscience! Consciences!
I think
No?
they're all.
They're
We've
still
lost those three in
asleep?
the group.
Well, alright then.
Well, what?
Oh, God. Such
With the
mayhem
consciences
in-
away, the companions, they slay. Let's go.
Oh my God! Yes, this is going to be such a good session without Lours and Jamesy.
Is that literally just like Natasha going, "Oh, look at this note I got. Fuego! It's gone."
The unchecked fuegos are going to be ginormous.
So,
We're in. Let's do this.
We're in.
with the moral conscience of the group surprisingly absent, you make your way out into Waterdeep.
Tom, are you mentally prepared for how bloodthirsty this episode is going to be?
I am well aware of what I'm getting myself in for right now. So,
Tom, wanna answer that?
as you make your way past the long-range communications warehouse, you can see the clock on the main spire of the town hall near to you says it's probably about it's showing it's 11, so it's going to take you about half an hour to get to the sword and board. Probably would take you less time if you're a bit more with it. But you eventually make your way to the inn. And as you arrive and make your way inside, there is a half-orc in dark leather armour standing by the back room, who immediately recognises and beckons you over and opens the door. Inside, you find a conference table set with refreshments, several tankards of ale, a couple of pitchers of wine and water, glasses, some cured meats, some breads, some cheeses. You immediately notice that either side of the room is flanked by 2 more guards on either side in the same dark attire. And already sat at the head of the table, with their fingers steepled, is a smartly dressed male halfling, who you recognise as Chief Auditor Welby, the representative from the Waterdeep Board of Associated Businesses, who had previously hired you to infiltrate Rosewood Manor at the
So
launch
going to
of
be a
their
business meeting.
previous product line.
I might have been asleep for that one.
Without even standing, they gesture to the chairs around the table and say, "Welcome back. Please sit down."
I'm going to sit down, sniff the ale, and drink some.
Fair enough. It's all right. It's nothing fancy. You have a little bit of a momentary flashback to the previous evening where you tried some particularly impressive stuff, and you're just a little bit disappointed it's not quite as fancy.
Can I
Nope.
cut my finger, let the blood drip into the wine, and then neck the wine, please?
Yep, that's metal AF. Go for it.
Guess I'm sticking with ale.
Done.
Okay.
Do I need to take damage?
I'd say that pricking your finger enough to make a flavour for the beverage is redundant for damage purposes.
Are you trying to say that she's had enough pricks in her time to
Hey.
not let it affect her?
So as you take your refreshments in your seats, Welby looks up and says, "Well, I'd hoped we'd not find ourselves here again. Nevertheless, you have proven yourselves effective, if not necessarily efficient, in the past. My
Thank you.
employers have found these qualities to be useful."
We do get the fire job done.
You do indeed. Now,
There
it
you go.
may have gone beyond your notice that since the unfortunate loss of their former CEO, Rosewood constructs have recovered, and in the past few months have rebuilt Rosewood Manor as their new base of operations for both manufacture and development of their new model of modular autonomous constructs. Where our interest comes in is that Rosewood now stands poised to make a complete killing over the upcoming festive season. Despite our numerous offers, they have refused to join the Board of Associated Businesses, and their particular monopoly could adversely affect other businesses within the city, thereby disrupting the delicate economy the board has worked hard to nurture and keep healthy. Where you come in follows, and I feel somewhat cheap saying this, a remarkably similar path to our last meeting. We are, once again, asking you to infiltrate the Rosewood estate, but with a view to sending a more direct message. At this point, Welby clicks their fingers, and the guards step forward and place in front of each of you
Ahead.
on the table a metal-bound wooden box, each one about the size of a large matchbox, so about 4 by 2 inches. There is a pocket watch set into the top face, and a large red crystal.
It's a bomb!
I see you have some experience in these matters. We know
Someone
that
had
the
to-
Rosewood
Potentially.
Constructs are holding an investor showcase to demonstrate their new and improved product line tomorrow evening. We would like for the event to go with a particularly large bang.
He's a funny one.
We would be most impressed if that particular bang were to include at least one of their new models, along with the master control console inside the manor. Now, how you achieve this is entirely up to you. I do not want to know the details. The more distance that the board can maintain from this operation, the greater deniability we possess. Should you fail, the board will disclose the full details of how Dominic Rosewood was not killed by a rogue prototype, along with denying all knowledge of our involvement with yourselves and turning you over to the authorities. Now, these
Sounds a bit like
devices...
blackmail, to be honest.
I mean, blackmailing a bunch of murderers doesn't seem like a good idea.
Blackmail is such an ugly word. We
Especially
prefer
since you
to...
just gave said murderers a bunch of bombs.
Well, each one of those is coded to activate at midnight tomorrow, by which time they should be in
Great.
place and ready to kick off the festivities, shall we say.
I mean, I've got nothing against it. I'm happy blowing shit up. Let's go.
I
For
admire your
us.
enthusiasm.
Paid us last time. Surely there's some, readies involved for us. Some cash money.
We have detailed records of exactly how you managed to enter Rosewood Manor, along with a arcane recording of the events that took place within the basement. It appears that one of our previous agents was successful enough in setting up some surveillance equipment. Now, should you succeed, all records of this event will mysteriously vanish into a furnace or a forge or a river, somewhere where they could no longer be recovered.
How do we know that you're gonna get rid of them, being as you quite happily held on to them for so long?
Well, if this activity goes as planned, Rosewood Constructs will represent no more of a threat to us, or to the board, or any of its encompassed businesses. At which point we would have no further need to call on your services.
And what's stopping us from just, setting a little fuego up in here?
Fuego, fuego.
I mean, you could certainly try.
Oh, I could try.
I trust you've
This one-
enjoyed your refreshments.
At this point, I'm going to go. How safe are these bombs and shake it?
Oh, they're quite tamper-proof.
That's good. That's good to know.
But are they fuego proof?
Oh, yes. Certainly from the outside.
From the outside? So if I were to start a fireball in the inside of this case...
I mean, you could certainly try. You would undoubtedly kill every single one of us in this room.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're ready to die.
Well,
See,
speak for yourself.
he's already died. I just like fuego. That one thinks of nothing but death. I've seen her poetry.
You read
And
my journal?
he'll probably survive.
How many times do I have to tell you to stop reading my journal?
So do you want to tango with the crazy? Or do you want to pay the crazy? I am happy to explode this here or in Rosewood Manor.
Or both.
He says, holding his fingers delicately to the case of the bomb. All I have to do is just snap my little fingers and fuego!
I'm just gonna light him up. Just gonna light him up.
Surely you can
Welby-
just loosen those purse strings a little bit.
Welby just leans back in their chair and goes, "Why don't you give it a try?"
Does it cost a spell slot?
Damn.
Depends-
You'll be dead. Who
Depends on what you're
cares?
trying. Depends on what you're trying to cast.
Fuego.
Oh. Ooh.
Gorgonzola.
Tempted.
Gorgonzola his neck.
The half-orcs.
I don't know, maybe just do a whip round, slap them all.
Uh,
Not gonna lie, if I can survive, they'll probably survive as well.
Yeah. Can I cast Minor Illusion?
Yeah. What are you trying to cast it as?
A big,
Bomb going
like,
off.
roaring fireball
Okay.
in my left hand where the case is.
So,
And it-
as you sort of move your hands to cast the spell, you picture in your mind the image of the fireball,
Fuego.
and nothing happens.
What's going on, Natasha?
The rest,
There's
of
no
you, the rest of
fuego.
you just see Natasha holding the bomb in one hand and just sort of, almost like they're doing that thing where they're just kind of cascading a coin across the tops of their fingers next to it, but there's no coin.
So no fuego.
No fuego. Nothing happens.
Fuego.
Oh no, fuego.
Still nothing happens.
Maybe if you say it louder.
No. You're good.
Yes, we did
Fuego.
anticipate you might be somewhat troublesome.
Murderous.
Brucey
result.
bonus, though. Is there anything like a bonus for payment that we could do this? I just
Commission.
like gold, Mr. Welby. I just like gold. And explosions. But gold.
What happens if I hit it with an axe? Should we find out?
Can certainly try.
Easy, Bagerac. I think it'll be fine. But
Well,
gold.
I just want to have fun. I'm not really bothered.
Murder. Murder.
In case you haven't already guessed, the entire tavern has been enchanted with a magic dampening
Ooh.
field.
Cheating. Okay. Well.
That's
my
what we
pro-
need
my-
our moral conscience for. He has detect magic. He's a good one for that.
What about a crossbow? That's not magical.
Yeah, there's an axe.
Can I shoot my crossbow into his left foot, please?
Sure. If you can make me a, it's just going to be a crossbow attack.
Advantage?
I'd say with advantage because your element of surprising.
Very good.
Very good.
Very, very good.
Oh, the second one was worse. 11.
11. As you effortlessly knock and load the bolt into the crossbow and point it towards Welby's foot, as you pull the trigger, nothing happens.
God.
You feel it click and the mechanism goes, but the bowstring just doesn't move.
Gotta look at Welby. I love these meetings. They're always fun.
Aren't they just?
Like this guy.
I should clarify that the enchantment also covers violent actions.
Of course it does.
That sounds like fun. I try and swing my axe at Natasha.
Oh, God.
Cool. If you can make me a axe attack, please.
Oh, this is hilarious.
I don't like
It's a
this all of a
24
sudden.
to hit.
24. So as you pull your great axe, is that one-handed or two-handed?
One-handed.
One-handed.
Well, it's a two-handed weapon. It's just That's
Oh,
it.
okay. So as you swing the great axe towards Natasha, the axe itself, you find that you've just sort of whiffed both of your hands through the air in front of Natasha, and the axe is already back in its sheath.
This is great.
You say I can't do acts of violence. Can I run over to him and shove my tongue down his throat?
That sounds pretty fucking
can-
violent.
Hmm.
Holy shit.
What
What is
dice
that?
roll-
Psychic damage?
What dice
I'm
roll
gonna
would
French you
apply
to
to
death, damn it.
sexual aggression? Let's just-
Sexual assault of the
Let's-
highest order.
Let's make this just a straight dexterity check.
Straight rape check.
Dexterity check? What are you expecting
I'm
this
not-
tongue to do?
Not going to go with sleight of hand because that just leaves it way too open to interpretation.
Well, dexterity kind of sounds like dexterity.
15.
15. You jump up and immediately launch with violent lust, I'm guessing, at Welby. As you do, you find the only thing you kiss is the floor behind his chair.
Can
And I
just say,
thought
It's
I
not
was the
his own
all
bard.
I
way.
can think of is the little girl from The Exorcist in the bed.
Welby looks up and says,
Other
well,
horror films are available.
More like the lickers from Resident Evil.
time is pressing on, and much as this little performance is amusing me, I do have other matters to
Hate it.
attend to.
Like these nuts.
I trust I can count on your cooperation for this little venture.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Those.
I feel like we haven't had
At least they're going to
much choice in
explode
this.
something.
I will certainly pass on your enthusiasm to my superiors, who may well see it fit to provide a more tangible reward for services rendered.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Welby stands up from his chair, doesn't gain much in height because he's a halfling, checks his pocket watch and says, well, if there are no further questions, I shall be on my way.
I go to shake his hand, and as I do, can I like slip one of the bombs inside, like on him, so that he doesn't notice?
Yeah, dex sleight of hand check.
Lovely. Because they're all meant to go off at midnight tomorrow.
Mhm.
Oh, not one. I get to do it again. All right, 15.
15. So, how exactly are you slipping the bomb onto him whilst you're shaking his hand?
The way he's
So
slipping.
as I shake his hand, I ask him several questions, mostly involving like tongue action and stuff, because that seems to entertain him greatly. And I slip it into his man satchel. A man like that must be carrying a man satchel.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I figured as much. And so, what can I say? I read people, and so I've just slipped it inside his man satchel.
That's fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Faye
you-
reads people as well from the inside.
From the inside. She's an entrail reader.
Welby shakes your hand and doesn't appear to have noticed that you've slipped one of the 4 bombs into his satchel.
Lovely.
Additionally, none of the 4 guards in the room noticed either.
I'm just gonna go up to Natasha and go, Natasha, if we get some of that alchemy fiery stuff and put it in the bombs, it'll make even bigger fuego.
You're right.
Okay, so just to recap your objectives, you are to infiltrate the Rosewood estate during the investor showcase, plant the explosives around the premises to cause the most damage possible, and you've been specifically asked to make sure that there are charges on at least one of the new production models that they are demonstrating, as well as the master control unit inside of the estate.
How many
Now-
bombs do we have? 4.
No, we now have 3. I stuck one into the guy's.
No, I know that, but we had 4.
We
had
had
four, now we
4,
have
but now we've got 3.
I reckon if we go get some like that alchemist fiery stuff and put it with the bomb, so it'll be hilarious.
Well, here's the thing. You've got basically 36 hours to plan this job.
Nice. This job.
And
So,
we all know that I'm the smartest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
shenanigans aside, it's probably about 12:30 now. And
Okay.
the investor showcase takes place at midnight the following day, because Rosewood like to do midnight launches.
And where is this Rosewood again? How far away? Is it
You
in
remember
town?
from last time that it's not directly in town. It's sort of on the more kind of like suburban outskirts of Waterdeep. It's not sort of part of the main trade and thoroughfare. It's just far enough away that it doesn't smell as bad, and the posh people can get to and from it without sort of having to mix all that much with the riffraff.
Minutes if we take the highway.
There's like a main thoroughfare that runs sort of through Waterdeep, and then there's like sort of narrow roads. You can still get to sort of carts side by side. They're that kind of width that run out to the posher areas. Think of it kind of like Beverly Hills with swords and goblins. It's that
Goblins
kind of
and
Oh, so Bel Air.
yeah, that kind of like gated community type, affable living
Is there a
space.
prince?
There is not. I mean, there might be. It's an investor showcase. You don't know that.
So how are we gonna get in? Should we be like pretend to be workmen setting the place up, or what?
Well, I might have a few ideas.
Are you gonna try and go in early as the Duchess and say you're interested in buying one before the sale?
Mhm. I feel that might be most appropriate, yes.
So I get to be the bodyguard again, yeah?
Yes. And you, darling, you could be a bodyguard too. You could be my entourage. Yes.
Hopefully.
What's Magemak gonna be then? The old model that we're trying to
He would
upgrade?
be my trusted advisor.
Great.
I could just be the car.
So are we gonna try and get some stuff to spice these bombs up a bit now we've only got 3?
Sure. That's a
I'm
good
down.
idea.
I'm so ready.
You get Le Bon Bon Bons.
The bomb bombs. Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, if you want to divide
Oh.
your resources, that's absolutely fine. Like I say, you've got the best part of the rest of the day to do any sort of scouting, reconnaissance bits and pieces if you want, and then you've got another whole day afterwards to gather any materials and pull everything off.
So other than my idea of sticking alchemy fire in these bombs, anyone else got no way to make them go boom bigger or better?
Boom bigger.
Yeah, or
Boom
better.
bigger. Boom, 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 boom. A poem about Gem Morgan.
Boom diggity.
I would like to get a new disguise. I want to go
Yes.
scouting about the town.
I would rather like a new dress for the Duchess.
Yeah, maybe I need to get find someone who you actually the Duchess. You can pick out who my new disguise will be.
Splendid! Let's go body hunting.
While they're doing this, I'm gonna go and try and find something to make the bombs better, basically, because we've only got 3 now.
Okay.
How about a nice little wood elf?
Okay.
I
no
feel like
worries.
we should day drink as well.
Is that because you're actually drinking?
I mean, it's standard for Bagerac, just...
That's fair
Only
enough.
go better if we have to do constitution saving throws every 5 minutes because we're bladdered.
Okay. No worries.
Does my character actually get drunk, being as, you know, just a robot?
You can.
Just what, oil drunk?
You don't get drunk per se. You can still like imbibe fluids and just go, this tastes nice and is made of the following ingredients. So you can still appreciate it on like a chemical level, but you don't get drunk without some like magical assistance. Your mechanical form doesn't process alcohol the same way a human body would, or halfling body, or changeling body, or half-orc body.
Basically, you're a lightweight, mate.
Well, surely the halfling is the lightweight. Well, 'cause
Hey,
she's
look,
more-
I have a drink named after me, Stout.
I thought that was
pretty
named
sure
after Holy
that's
Stoutwood.
after dwarves, surely.
Either way, I can drink. So yes, we'll
Okay.
go body hunting and dress hunting.
Bomb shopping.
Okay, no worries. So, are you split into 2 groups then?
Sure.
'Cause
Yeah, let's
as
split
I
up,
understand,
gang.
As I understand it, we've got Faye and Natasha going disguise hunting, and we've got Bagerac and Magemak looking for ways to improve the yield on magic bombs.
Because
sounds
we is
of it,
the
yeah.
smartest of the team.
Okay, cool. No worries then. So,
Not with words like we is.
let's start with Bagerac and Magemak then. So, I will point out that you're basically carrying explosives around a heavily populated area, trying to find a way, or a merchant, or a tradesperson who would be willing to make said bombs more explosive.
I guess they don't need to know why we want the alchemy stuff, or do we not know exactly what we need to make it bigger? So we're going to have to tell them.
Okay, so there's a couple of options you've got with this. From working with Qualcosa, you know that there is Ella at Ashglades Alchemical Assortments who might be able to improve the explosive potential.
Where's Shathas at these days?
Last you heard from Shathas, she had set up shop in Stoutwood's Rest and had taken over the Guild Artificers post there.
That's ages away.
Yeah, the crate of special effects that you received at the Meandering Squirrel last session was from
Yeah, I just
workshop.
couldn't remember where the shop was. She would have been good.
But yeah, so she'd be too far away to really render any assistance within the time frame you're working with.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can try and find an artificer somewhere in the city who might be able to do something for
Let's
you
do
on
it.
that one.
Right, we'll go find one then.
Okay, no worries. Can you both make me let's
No.
see. How exactly are you looking for them? Are you sort of asking people, or are you just kind of wandering around until you find something that might
I was just going to look
indicate-
for like an alchemy sign or something on a shop.
Okay. Well, like I say, you know from Relaxio and James that there is an alchemist that you've worked with previously. So if you want to go and see her, that would be probably the best place to start.
Go ahead.
Let's go then.
So you guys make your way off towards getting the bombs pimped up. We'll come back to you in a second. Natasha and Faye, you are
Yes.
on the hunt for disguises and general
People she can turn into.
Debauchery.
Okay. No worries. So, how are you going
What?
about doing that?
I'll walk down a busy street, and if there's anyone that Natasha takes Natasha's fancy, we'll try and lure them into a side street, I guess, something, or for some reason why I have to grab them, or something's got to be orchestrated for me to touch them and get their essence.
Ooh,
Okay.
what about a
Just,
wood
like,
elf?
bump
You've
into
never
it.
been a wood elf.
I think I've got a wood elf actually.
Do you have a wood elf?
Uh,
Is it a female wood elf?
I've got a male high elf. I've got the wood elf that we had met on the airship. I've got no other details of what he or she was.
Get you a new one. Let's get you a new wood
Let's
elf.
get a new one. Okay.
A new wood elf. That sounds splendid.
Okay.
Do it.
2 seconds. Let me just grab this. So
Costs.
the wood elf that you encountered on the airship, I have got a record somewhere. There we are, the crew of the Castaguana. Okay, so the wood elf on that was Amas Mithanme. She was a female wood elf, golden hair, golden eyes, sort of fairly pale olive skin. The last that you as a group saw of her, she was being taken away by Faix to have her wounds looked at after
Oh, yeah.
they were attacked on the airship. And that is the
left her
last
in a
the
cupboard.
rest of you saw of her. Faye, on the other hand, knows that she was stashed within a broom cupboard somewhere along the hallway.
Understandable.
So yes, you do have a wood elf physical disguise that you can run with. I think what I was getting more at was in terms of like attire disguises, like so what sort of clothing.
You know,
what sort of vibe
black.
are you going for here?
Black and leathery.
What is this, a funeral?
No, I'm a
Yes.
bodyguard. I'm going to be a bodyguard, aren't I?
Well, it has to be formal and yet stealthy.
I want 2 leather straps like across the chest that do
You would.
absolutely nothing. Just there for aesthetics only.
Fuck's
Other than
sake.
there to highlight your boobs.
Yeah.
Standard female RPG armor.
Standard
Exactly.
hot topic bullshit.
Okay.
I want leather
So-
straps with little rivets in that highlight my boobs.
So
Can I get them studded?
Natasha, I'd say from your time that you spent sort of carousing and hobnobbing with the nobles in Waterdeep during your downtime, you do know that there's a few sort of decent tailors that would be able to provide you with this kind of with the sort of the more formal kind of black tie event attire that you're looking for. In terms of like more leather armor equipment for a bodyguard, it's going to be something that you require a tanner or a leather worker to get a hold of. Between the two of you, I'd say you're not overly familiar with a specific vendor for that, but you know roughly the area where the sort of the part of town that you'd need to go to get that kind of equipment together.
Okay.
So how do you want to tackle that first of all? Do you want to go basically dress shopping or armor shopping first?
Let's go armor shopping. I may have a few emergency dresses if I don't find anything I'd like.
Okay. So you make your way off toward the sort of trade district in Waterdeep. We'll hop back to Magemak and Bagerac now. By this point, you've made your way to. I almost said back street again. You've made your way to the side street, in which you were reliably informed that Ashglade's Alchemical Assortments was located. And you make your way down. You find an open area with some stables, and a farrier just sat working on some horseshoes.
Some horse shit.
Horseshoes.
Hmm.
And just look
Yeah,
up
we just
and
got-
acknowledge here. All right.
Right, we're after some chemical supplies or something.
Oh, right.
Some-
Well, I mainly do horseshoes.
Do you know where the chemical place is?
Oh, yeah, you want Ella. Just through that door. Just points to a door off to the side. A little sign on it that just says Ashglades Alchemical Assortments.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Okay, cheers.
Have a good day. Goes back to working on the horseshoe. As you make your way inside, there's a little ding-ling-ling. There's a bell knocked by the door opening. And you come into, it's a fairly shallow area with a counter and then a long workshop going back with various crates and bits and pieces. There's some flasks and stuff bubbling away and various equipment in there that all looks, as you would describe, very sciencey. And just at one of the workbenches is a human female, long blue hair tied back into a ponytail. She's got like a heavy leather smock on, gauntlets up to the elbows, and it just appears to be like very, very carefully pouring from one flask into another, and just without looking away, they just go, "But within a second." And as they pour these two, there's like a red mixture going into a yellow mixture. And as the two start to mix, they go through a sort of violet, quite an energetic sort of purple colour, and then just go completely clear. And they very carefully put the beaker down on the side, take off the gauntlets, just pick up the beaker with a bare hand, and just down the entire thing. As oh, sorry, ran out of coffee this morning. How can I help?
I want what you're having.
Yeah, sure, fine. You don't happen to have any copper components inside you, do you?
Inside me?
Yeah, because this stuff eats through copper like, well, basically like wood lice through a timber frame.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I've got,
Aluminium
Are you
safe
the-
one.
are you the Model E or the Model F?
How do you know so much?
Oh, I spent some time in Eberron. I've worked with Warforged constructs before. I mean, I've not seen one quite like you, so I'd assume
That's
that you were
good.
probably production after I left.
That's because I'm the shit.
Fair enough. Well, tell you what. Here is. She reaches underneath the counter and pulls out like a fairly tall flask with like a little cork stopper in it. This is well, it's I've been using it as a universal lubricant, but the Warforged I was working with says that it's essentially the closest they can get to being drunk. It's yours for 5 silver.
You've got a deal.
Brilliant. There you go. So you mark off 5 silver from your inventory. You are now in possession of Robot Grog.
I need a way to make these and show her one of the bobs explode more. A mind person
Oh.
asked me to help.
Make me a quick deception check. I'd say with advantage because that was decent quick
Some
think
fine
on
acting.
That's 13.
13. Mining charges. Okay. Yeah, I've probably got something that could take a look at these. I've seen this sort of thing before. Are they already set on an active timer?
Yeah, we're going to use them in a day or so.
Okay. I've got to be honest. It's somewhat more reckless than I've seen with excavation work to start the charges ticking away before you've got to site. But not to worry.
He's not very smart.
Yeah, this is
It's an orc mine. We need stuff to go up big, quick. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. You might want to have a word with your foreman about reckless endangerment of the employees.
I did. Yeah.
But yeah, I could certainly have a look. How big were you looking to go with the explosion? What's the sort of yield on this at the moment?
We want to take the side of a mountain off. Yeah.
Side of a mountain. Okay, so we're looking to amp this up by a couple of notches. All right. Let me have a quick look at this and just see what I can do. She takes over to one of the workbenches and puts on like a fairly elaborate set of goggles. There's like a dozen or so lenses on each eye. And after a few minutes of like sort of tinkering around, brings it back and goes, well, slight problem. The devices themselves are tamper-proof. I can't get in to put anything more inside of it. What I can do is put something on the outside of it as a secondary explosion. Now I can gear that up to take out the side of a mountain. It's gonna cost, and I don't know how much additional damage it's gonna do on top of what's already in there. So as long as you're a decent distance away when these things go off, you'll be absolutely fine.
Right.
Kaboomy, kaboomy.
Kaboomy, kaboomy indeed. I will be bringing you the second kaboomy.
So then we can blame it on the boom boom.
They say side of a mountain. I don't know. They're clearing a space for a camp. So whatever you think that's big enough for.
Okay, is it just the one?
Well, no, we gotta use several charges.
Oh, okay. Have you got all of the charges with you, which I assume have also got active fuses?
I'm guessing yes, because I would have took the one we went shopping.
Yes, yeah, you've got all three. Okay.
Do you want to be famous with a bunch of unlouts and bullshit, by the way?
Famous with a
on
bunch
the
of
stream notes.
umlauts.
I don't fucking know.
Oh god, what have I missed? Okay. Sorry, distracted there. Okay, so Ella informs you that in order to fix up the 3 charges, it's basically going to cost 300 gold.
Okay.
But she guarantees you that the additional charge that she's applying to it will take down a mountain when the primary charge goes off.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Are we gonna run this by the others and split it?
Nah.
No, I'll just pay for it.
Okie doke.
Okay.
This can only end well. I've now got these things souped up to a point where they can take out the side of a mountain.
Yeah, so you've now got basically 3 bombs on you that can take out the side of a mountain each.
Great.
And Magemak is in possession of a bottle of robot grog. Have you tried any of it yet?
Not quite. Are we? Is there anything else that we can get from Le Alchemist?
Whatever you want.
What are
I
you?
don't really know what I'm looking for.
Some fire retardant.
Ella looks to you and goes, what are you in the market for? What do you want? What are you looking for? What do you need?
Well, I am a spellcaster of sorts. I
Okay.
also have a little dragon. Look at him! And
That
he just sort of jumps up.
is adorable. Oh my god, I have never seen craftsmanship like that. That is absolutely beautiful. What's his name?
Atticus.
Atticus. Ah. I wish I could make something like this.
But yeah, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Well,
It's bigger.
I don't really have anything for spellcasters. A lot of what I do tends to be hard science. I don't really go in for the arcane all that much.
Could you make something as a one-off that could turn Atticus really big to get us out of a dirty situation?
Oh, you mean like a growth amplifier?
Yes.
I could. It'll probably take me the... Would you be alright to pick it up tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Tell you what, leave it with me. I'll see what I can cook up for you.
How much is this going to set me back?
See, this is the thing. I'm not too sure. What sort of budget are you working with? If you want to leave a deposit, I'll hold on to that. And then we can just settle up when you come and collect. If I can't get you anything, I'll give you your money straight back.
Okay. I will leave you with 500 gold pieces.
Ooh.
I am sure I can find something within that, my man. Don't you worry.
We are all wow too rich.
Give it to me! Give it to me! I'm not rich enough.
Tell you what, I'll get to work on this straight away. You come see me first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know what we've got on with. All right?
Okay.
All right. Lovely doing business with you.
Thanks.
And she immediately sort of scuttles off and starts grabbing like textbooks and notes from some shelves at the back of the room. Starts firing up a couple of burners and pulling out jars and stuff of various mixtures and elixirs. And is completely paying you no attention. She is nose deep in the books at this point.
Turn Magemak. Let's go find the others.
Let's go.
Okay. So, cutting back to Faye and Natasha. So you guys have made your way to the trade district. And
Yes.
you found a slightly more upmarket leather workers. They tend to do sort of more high-end, almost like formal armor. It's not necessarily
Farmer.
It's not necessarily like functional leather armor. It's just designed to be leather armor for those who would normally wear leather armor but have to go to a party.
Cool.
Cool.
Kind of like, do you imagine like French nobles with the kind of like the dress armor that was not functional as a suit of armor but looked very cool and was just a look how much money I've got statement? That kind of thing, but leather. So you find yourself in a tanner's shop, which I've got to be honest, you can't really pronounce the name because it's just got like a weird symbol over the door, and behind the counter is a dark elf, jet black hair, just slicked back against the skull. and these crimson red eyes are absolutely piercing. As soon as you walk in through the store, they're like fixed on you like lasers.
I whisper to Natasha, I like this one.
You what?
They look over you and go, "Welcome to my establishment. How may
Oh, I
I
immediately hit
help
him.
you?"
How do you do?
I do very well. And how do
I'm
you
looking. I do very well as well.
do? Wonderful.
I'm looking to dress this one up.
Looks over at Faye.
Yeah.
Faye, have you already taken on your wood elf form at this point? Or are you still changeling?
I guess I would need to be in my wood elf form if it's going to fit properly.
Fair enough. He goes, one of the tree folk. I have dressed your kind before. They always have the most elegant form.
Thank you.
Don't they just?
They do. And how
Do
may I assist you?
Tell the man what you want, dear.
We are going to a formal affair. And I am.
Before you can finish the next sentence, they have already, they're now standing directly in front of you and have pressed a finger to your lips and go, shh. Knows exactly what you want. You're going to a party. You wish to be formal, yet with an air of business. This shall be
Yes.
casual,
Business.
but intimidating. Grand, yet discreet.
It's going to be an explosive night.
I'm thinking...
Assless chaps.
I am thinking...
I do believe he's
Barbarian
thinking.
battle harness with high leather boots and a skirt made of strap leather.
Breathing badger.
Are you breathing?
Oh, things bomb and nose.
How do you feel about hoods?
Wood.
No, hoods. Hoods,
Oh.
dear.
Would-
How do you feel about hoods?
I think that they are the most stable bit of any formal attire.
Exactly. Which
Who
is
are you
why
without a
this
hood?
shall have no hood. We shall shatter the paradigm. Come with me. We must measure you. Must
Is it
take
going to
your
have
measurements.
Capes.
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 No capes.
Ha! Capes. Capes, you say? Ha! You come into my establishment and bring up the idea of capes. Tell me, what do you think, my dear halfling, of capes?
Oh, they're fine, I suppose, if you want to be likened to the trash that there should be seen in.
Exactly. Which is why we shall give you a grand cape. One that
Great.
none will ever look upon and go, the ruffians, they were right all along. We shall blow some fucking minds.
We'll be blowing some minds tonight, don't you
Yes.
worry.
Yes.
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 Yes. At this point, the Dark Elf has got this insane look on their face. Follow me. Follow me. We shall measure you. We shall take your measurements. Come. And they just usher you towards the back room, and there's like a pedestal, like it's just about a foot off the floor. It's almost like a big lazy Susan. Just get you to stand on there and just slowly rotate you, taking measurements. The entire back wall is just covered in mirrors. Yes. I'm thinking black leather. Yes.
Is there any other colour, darling?
Oh, yes, there are, and we shall use those as well. And so the Dark Elf gets to work, making you what is by far the most elegant battle harness you've ever seen. There is a form-fitting black breastplate. There is a sort of Xena-style strap skirt going on. It's towing the line between ballroom and S&M.
That's exactly what I wanted.
And there is a cape, the outside of which is completely jet black, the inside of which is, depending on how you look at it, it's got this kind of like pearlescent, almost oil slick kind of thing going on. And looking up, yes. Yes, this shall be the dress that blows minds. Turns to Natasha. And how will we be paying today?
With coins.
I have just the thing. How about a wonderful crown, darling?
I'm afraid this is not some fur trader. I work exclusively for coin.
And why did you ask?
For this breathtaking creation. It will cost 1,500 gold pieces.
No, it won't, darling.
You're right. A design like this is too magnificent for such a high price. It will cost no more than 1,500 gold pieces. I will accept.
Darling. If I said I was taking it to Rosewood, think of the press. Think of the applauds. Think
Yes.
of the accolades I could give to you if you were to be a little more kinder with your fee.
Yes. Yes, the accolades. Certainly such visibility, such exposure at an event. Think of all
There's
of
plenty
the
of
rent
exposure
I
on
could
this
pay.
dress as it is.
Ah, there is exposure, but it is also modest.
It is.
And truly, I could pay so much rent and store fees with exposure. But my landlord generally prefers coin. I will accept no more than 1,400 gold pieces. Not a penny more.
You heard the man, darling. Pay him. It's your dress, after all.
I hand over 350 gold coins.
Yes. Yes, this is the start of the payment. And now, my dears, the rest of the payment must follow.
You said no more than 1,400. I gave
I
you less.
said no more, but you did give me significantly less.
I cast
Same.
suggestion that he's had enough gold for one day.
I have a
Okay.
thing for this though now, don't I? And also, wait,
I
there
have-
might be something I can help with
I
this.
have a thing for this. Okay, so Natasha, you're casting suggestion.
Wait, but only after her thing that helps me.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let me do the thing first.
Hold on. Hold a minute.
There's a thing that there we go. I would like to do the blood curse of the anxious. All creatures have advantage on charisma checks directed at the target creature within 30 feet of you.
It has to be wisdom. Wisdom checks. Wisdom. Checking the wisdom.
I don't have wisdom. It's
Ah!
charisma.
I will
Okay.
allow. Right. So I'm going to accept that suggestion is being cast,
Yes.
but I will allow you to retcon use of Curse of the Blood thing on realizing that it has no effect in this situation, being that it's a new spell.
Great. Fantastic.
So, you're casting
So you
suggestion,
allow
so
it
it
then.
is a course of activity limited to a sentence or two.
Yes.
Natasha.
But, darling stranger, you have had enough gold for one day.
And they're looking to beat a wisdom saving throw against what?
16.
16. Okay, 2 seconds. Let's have look. Do they beat it? What is the wisdom saving throw?
Of a shopkeeper.
Shopkeeper.
Did you even think we'd get here today?
Okay, so yeah, they don't get any bonuses to their saving throw for wisdom, but I did roll a 16.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
So they look at you and they have a bit of a moment where the face just kind of looks like they've accidentally drank sherbet through their nose. It's good. No. The exposure. More
We can-
gold.
the money after tonight at Rosewood.
Can we hire it if we give it you back?
Now there's an idea. Yes, I could display it as the garment that wowed Rosewood. Yes.
For which the 350 would be plenty, right?
No.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
may rent this dress for.
Natasha and I just start chanting yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. At this point, they pull a dagger and hold it up to Natasha's throat and go, fucking no!
I cast heat metal
Oh my god.
Okay.
on the
They-
dagger.
They immediately drop the dagger.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know what came over me.
Wouldn't it be a terrible damage to one's reputation if they were found to be the shopkeeper that brought a dagger to one's throat? And as the Duchess of Faix occurred, this would travel far throughout Waterdeep. I have
Oh.
never been so threatened and offended by a shopkeeper in all of my time.
Make
That's
me
her
an
bodyguard.
intimidation.
Oh, everyone must know about.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to need you to turn the ham dial down just a little bit and make me an intimidation check, please.
I
Oh,
do the thingy thing. Whatever it was we just looked up a few seconds ago.
Yes, you can do the thing you looked at a few seconds ago now. It becomes
Blood
relevant.
curse and anxious.
I
Yeah.
am pointing out that you guys are in a shop while I'm walking around with 3 bombs big enough to blow up a mountain each at this moment in time.
Do I get advantage because I'm acting as the Duchess as well?
You get advantage from.
What's that like? So triple advantage.
No, you
you get
just
to
get
roll
you
three
just get
times?
advantage from Faye's blood
Well, then
curse.
my blood
Oh, okay.
curse.
Cool, so that's a 27.
27.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Your Grace, I didn't realise. Yes, certainly. The 350 gold with the ducal discount would certainly cover the rental of this dress.
I thought something like that might have slipped your mind, dear. Don't worry.
I do apologise. Unfortunately, working in the dark and with my terrible opiate addiction, my eyesight is not what it used to be.
It's quite all right.
Yeah.
We will see you. We will see you soon. Try not to
yes.
threaten anyone else with daggers today. They will know.
Why have the Tailors Guild changed their policy?
I just have
It's always
very
been standard
loud
policy
mouth.
that during a negotiation, the negotiating dagger is.
Darling,
Yes, Your Grace.
that's what I thought.
Good. Yes. Yes.
We will be
Yes,
seeing you later.
Yes.
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 Yes. They pull out a
Yes.
small silver snuff box from like one of their pockets and just take a good old whiff.
Why can't I just
Hey,
picture
yes.
the creepy guy from like The Simpsons going, yes.
We should be leaving now.
Yes.
Yes.
the mad
Cool.
look.
And we
the mad,
bounce.
yeah, cool. So yeah,
We roll.
you have managed to secure for yourself one disguise
Hmm.
for the 4.
I'll have something in the magic mansion.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Then we got the suits that we wore last time. Well, I say suits. I just
Yeah,
wore
you.
Weren't those horrible though?
So the suits that
wore
you
a formal
wore
short.
last time were generated by one of the auto tailors.
Oh, they disappeared as soon as we took them off,
As
didn't
soon
they?
as you tore up the retention ticket, they disappeared to reveal your normal clothes underneath.
No, but we had stuff. We had stuff. We did
You-
things.
Oh, we did do a mission once, or we went somewhere where the
There
very
was the
first time you
Rosewood,
were the
the
There
Duchess.
first-
is, so there was the formal evening on the Castaguana where the auto tailors were still in their infancy somewhat, and I believe one of them didn't speak English, and
Yeah,
that
had a
produced
pink
some
dress.
questionable effects. When you first met Shathas, when Welby hired you for the original Rosewood mission, Shathas had actually tinkered with and fixed the auto tailor that was working for you, so it produced correct.
Do we not have an auto tailor in the magic mansion?
You do not know.
Well, shit.
I mean, I do have a Crimson Order robe I could wear.
I might pull a little too many eyes, darling.
Everyone,
Leave
but
it
then
with me. I'll get some suits and dresses in no time. Spit spot.
What are you on about? But then the people will think the Crimson Order blew up the place.
Take it with us.
just as a quick equipment check here, you've got explosives that you have been guaranteed will level a mountain.
Hmm.
In fact, you've got explosives that are guaranteed between them to level 1.5 mountains.
Yes.
I don't think anyone's going to be able to identify who did it.
Meh, true.
Like, that's blast radius to encompass any kind of incriminating evidence.
We should definitely leave a note in the wake of it, though.
We're leaving a note and a box of milk tray on the remains of the
Oh,
nightstand.
no, what are you on about? I just meant I could put the robe on as we're fleeing, and then if anyone sees, they'll just think it was the Crimson Order.
Quite a lot
It's-
of Crimson Order disguises, do
It's valid. To be fair, if you were looking to make something formal, I believe that the Crimson Order robes that you've got would be of a sufficiently posh material to pull something off.
Ring.
You would need
I mean,
the.
I'm quite happy not looking formal because I'm just a bodyguard. I couldn't care less.
I don't know. I'm just a bodyguard, and I've almost had to pay 1,500 for my
Yeah, but
outfit.
you're also not a half-orc that doesn't really care.
Okay. So, let's have a look then. So, are you guys still on the look for additional costumes, or are you going to make use of the materials you've got back at the mansion?
I'm going to settle with the dress at the mansion.
Okay, no worries.
I'm sure I'll have a knockout dress in there somewhere.
I mean, Magemak probably just needs to polish himself.
That's
How
a fair
very-
assumption.
Sumptuous of you.
Okay. So, between that, we are coming to the end of the first day. And you make your way back to the city's elemental abode. It seems like whatever the other members of your party had been drinking has really done a number on them, because they're still nowhere to be seen, but you can still hear snoring interspersed with the occasional scream coming from their rooms.
Good to be home.
So they're clearly asleep and just having horrible dreams. So, comes the end of the first day. You can all take a long rest, recovering hit points, lost spell slots. And come to the second day.
So, we need to go and get these things in there before they blow up in my hands.
That is true. So, it's probably about So by the time you got up and got ready, it's probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish, that sort of time, sort of late, early morning. Magemak, did you want to go and check in with Ashglade? See about your
Hell yeah.
bonus potion? Okay.
hmm
So you make your way across town, takes you about an hour and a half. And by the time you get there, you see Ella is standing there looking very proud of herself. She's like, I've done it, boss. I've done it. And
Oh, give me the news.
oh, you are gonna love this. You might not love that it used up pretty much all the gold you gave me, but here it is.
Is it going to be worth it though?
They pull out a glass flask, kind of bound with almost like this iron lattice around it, and a metal stopper on the top. And inside you can see this. It's like almost looks like milk, but with like little green flecks drifting around in it. She stands back proudly and goes, I give you 1 full dose of a potion of giant size.
Oh, yes. Gimme.
Now, just so you're aware, I've had to tweak the formula slightly for mechanicals. So it'll work on yourself, it'll work on that cute little dragon you got. But you do have to drink the whole thing in one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't sip it. I cannot stress strongly enough not to sip it. Neck it, get it down you, the whole lot, all in one go. You want something to make you big? That'll make you big. For
That's what I'm
24
talking
hours.
Is it Viagra?
Keep those comments to yourself, woman.
So Magemak,
I'm a robot.
if you
I have no issue.
add a potion of giant size to your inventory, it is listed on D&D Beyond.
D&D.
Okay. So whilst Magemak's off on his errand, what are the rest of you guys up to?
I am going to
Drinking.
explain to the Duchess.
Was it the potion of growth? Sorry.
Natasha.
Sorry, Magemak, it is the potion of giant size.
Explain to Natasha that I've had these charges souped so that they'll now take out a mountain. And that maybe
Excellent, Bagerac!
maybe we should get them in the building so we can get far enough away. Like, we might have to leave the party a little bit early to get maybe out of
Quite right.
the city.
Quite right. Quite right. But won't it be wonderful to look at?
Biggest fuego ever.
Biggest fuego ever.
I was thinking, are we going to try and get into this party as soon as it opens, or are we?
Got to be fashionably like a fashionable time. We can't turn up before the crowds have arrived. I think we should make a real grand entrance as well. Like I'm thinking, whatever the
We'll
water
make a grand
version of a
entrance if we're there
limousine,
too late.
whatever water version of a limousine is. If there isn't a red carpet, we carry one with us and roll it out before we go in.
So you think of making a grand entrance, maybe renting a cart, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, I'd say for... what are we talking here? It's going to be a posh cart.
A certain person in chat thinks we should release white doves as we pull up as well.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Tell you what, just to montage it a little bit in the interest of
Fucking
time,
montage!
you managed to find a stable yard and an animal handler who would be willing to rent you the use of one of their more premium carts. This one is like ebony wood with rose settings. It is primo fancy looking cart. It's got the velvet interiors, the silks. It is very nice. They are also in possession of a flock of homing pigeons who are all white and would pass as doves. And they would be willing to rent you use of that for 50 gold with an additional 50 gold deposit in the event of any damages or loss of birds.
$50 gold, did you say?
So 100 gold total as a
Oh.
50 gold non-returnable deposit for damages or loss of livestock.
Can we pay them after the event?
With they're asking for it up front. They do say that it includes 2 of their finest, noblest looking horses and a driver. So you're basically getting chauffeur service with doves. There's a compartment built in just to the side of the door, so as you open it, it like drops these little hatches and releases the pigeons.
Do you know what? Yeah, the Duchess will pay it because the Duchess is gonna be swag as fuck.
Swag AF, love it.
100
Okay.
gold, yeah.
100
Can I not
gold.
persuade them down to 75?
You can certainly try.
Cool. Persuasion. Cool, 24.
They'll do it for 90.
Okay, well I'll take 90. Cool.
So, less of a deposit since you are a duchess.
Duchess.
Okay.
Cool. It's got.
So they said
been removed.
they'll have the carriage ready for you to go in time for the party.
Right, I'm going to split these bombs up between a few people, so we're not all holding. I'm not holding all 3.
Okay. So, got 3 explosives. Who is taking them?
What,
I'll
me?
hold one. The Duchess will have one, and then there's one left between either Magemak or M to place.
Don't mind.
I'd probably better for you, isn't it, Em? Because you're the stealth.
Sure.
So Faye, Natasha, and me have got a charge each.
Okay. Duly noted. Okay. Now, I will say at this point it's probably going to be about 11 o'clock or so. So you've got some time if you wanted to go and scout the location, maybe get an idea of what you're up against.
We should probably
But
go and look
we'll-
for exits and ways out.
I would certainly advise it. But we'll come back to that in a few minutes' time. I'm going to take a break and we'll see you all in about 10 minutes.
See you in a few.
Toodles.
we're back. So, you guys have, like I say, you got. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning at this point. Party. The big event kicks off at midnight. From what you've managed to gather, you usually start letting people in about an hour or two beforehand. So you've probably got until about 10 p.m. to do any final prep and checks. And you wanted to have a quick scout of the area. Okay.
Like horses or something lined up for our getaway, or
Well,
are we
can
just
take
going
the
to go
horse
into the?
carriage
We're just
we're
going to
in.
go into the mansion. Does that mean like we're on a different plane, so that we can just literally just walk straight into the mansion and we're fine?
Well, we could, I suppose.
So because Lours, Relaxio, and James are still dealing with the effects of a 48-hour hangover
we can't move
inside the
it.
elemental mansion, you can't move it from its current location at the theatre.
Is it in the blast zone?
It is sufficiently over the far side of town. Like, it would take, on foot, it'd probably take you about 2 hours to get to the Rosewood estate. So you're confident that that is well outside of the blast radius.
Don't I have those keys that like can make us travel places? Is that something I have?
Could we not just
Right.
use the horse and cart and keep it outside?
The horse and cart is in the process of being prepared. You don't have it immediately.
No, but I meant like we go into the party, we tell the driver to wait, and then we come back out, get in it, and go.
Oh yeah, you can certainly do that.
That would be lovely.
You've got use of the horse and cart for the evening. Like, the guy is at your beck and call for transport from this evening
I mean,
to the following morning.
technically, Badger, the Magic Mansion would keep us safe anyways.
Yeah, but it's the other side of town. We can't take it with us, so we're gonna have to get to it.
We have to get to it.
Oh,
So basically, get in the horse and cart and fucking
Yeah.
peg it.
fucking Peggits.
We could make up some story that the Duchess has to leave because of some prior engagement.
I'm not averse to thrusting one's fingers down my throat.
You fucking animal.
It's been very lonely this quarantine.
It'll be lonely.
This quarantine with face masks to wear.
Okay, so if we can steer this madness back on track just a little bit.
Certainly.
Yes.
If you want to make your way over to the Rosewood estate to start sort of scouting the area to see what you're up against.
Yeah.
Cool.
The manor itself has undergone some changes since the last time you were there. Whereas previously it had sort of fairly decorative outer walls with hedges. These have now been replaced with a somewhat more severe looking 15-foot high stone wall all the way around the manor, and even just sort of walking along the roads you can see that they've extended out the back of the building now, and there's this huge almost like warehouse block that's been added on to the back of the manor house. There is this perimeter wall that goes right the way around the grounds, iron spikes along the top of it. The front gates are have also had their security updated. There is essentially like a little guard post. It's built on as part of the wall, and then directly next to it is like an iron archway with a series of what you can see is like multicoloured crystals, probably about the size of like a football, set in around the gates. And you can see standing next to the archway is a fairly officious kind of very well built, bronze scaled dragonborn, with like a clipboard and a couple of other guards in like rosewood livery. They appear to be making some sort of checks and adjustments to the archway. You can see the dragonborn sort of points to one of the crystals. Two of the guards come in and just start making a bit of an adjustment to the setting. It glows quite brightly and then goes out. They've got like a step ladder to get the ones higher up. But from outside of the walls, that's all you can see at the moment.
Where was it we needed to blow up again?
Um,
Well, we just need the one charge, in all fairness. Like, can we just huck it over the hedge and be done? Just yeet.
Eat it over.
They want us to get the main control panel in one of the machines.
Oh yeah.
Right, so half a mountain should cover that, right? Surely.
I don't know, it might be a bomb-proof shelter it's in.
Our only issue is if someone
Ugh.
finds it and like yeets it somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can we see?
Maybe the Duchess can get a tour of the factory.
Yes. That was the plan, darling.
Okay.
So if we get suited and booted and
So
get
looking
in
around,
nice.
the only two ways that you can see into or out of the premises are through the main gate with this archway. And there appears to be like a service entrance at the back, off the far end of the warehouse. Very tall gates, very wide, clearly designed for sort of large amounts of traffic in and out of there. You do see at the back gate is a series of large wagons parked up, almost they're waiting to get in. They're just fairly sort of standard looking wagons, nothing particularly fancy about the oxen that are drawing them, but they've got this big white sheet covering going over them, and stamped across the side of it is Orval's Blind Delicacies. And at the front of the line of carriages, you can see just over the top of one of the oxen, you can see you'd assume maybe middle-aged human wearing a set of very dark glasses, talking to one of the guards on the gate.
What time is it and what time does the party start?
So by the time you've got there, I'd say it's probably about 1 o'clock.
Got ages.
This thing blows up half a mountain. We need to be out of there pretty sharpish.
Yeah, but we still got to do. Well, true. We need to be out by 10. What time's the party start? At 10.
I'm gonna say it sounds like they've got a security door at the front, so we're gonna have to try and sneak these bombs in the back entrance by the sound.
Perhaps a little Artemis can scuttle them in one by one. Atticus, a little Atticus, not an Artemis.
Certainly could. If you can carry it on.
If you can carry them. They didn't seem too big. You said something as big as a matchbox, right?
Yeah, they're like, so you could stash it into your pocket. It's certainly something that Atticus could carry. To be fair, Atticus could probably carry all three of them.
So we could try and get the robot dragon to take them in, while we just walk in. We could cause a distraction with our entrance, and Atticus could sneak them in through the back.
Oh, I like it. Getting tingles.
Get them in through your back door.
Whilst
Getting
you're,
some pre-fuego tingles.
whilst you're discussing this, you can see that the back gates have opened and the line of carts have started to move in to the property. As they move past, the human figure that you can see between the carts appears to be riding very strangely on a horse.
Well, the fact that you said it's blind delicacies and he's wearing dark glasses, I'm guessing he's blind.
No.
So perhaps we could sneak him in via his food. If he's blind, he cannot see.
If you're looking to do anything, you've probably got about another minute or so before the last of the carts gets through the gates.
Should we try and get Atticus to sneak him in on the food carts?
Yes, I like it. I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Magemak.
Yeah.
If Magemak's all right with it, I'm all right with it.
As long as we're not making him giant, that's like that's our saving grace. Save.
That's the we're in the
Oh, I
shit.
forgot we
That's
don't
fly out of
need
it.
the,
No. We want him small and discreet right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Sick.
jumps up on the top of my shoulder and is like, "I'm ready to go."
Okay. So, Bagerac, Natasha, and Faye, you take out the charges and hand them to Magemak, who sort of carefully, I don't know, attaches them to Atticus in some way.
Claws,
How's Atticus carrying these?
We'll have a little like elastic band or something, and we'll just attach, like, put them all in a bundle together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so get a little bindle of magic
Bombs.
explosives.
The
Highly
bomb
explosive.
bindle.
Hand it to Atticus. Magemak, if you can make me a stealth check for Atticus, please. He does get a +5 to this.
Because the guy's blind.
17, so 22.
Oof.
Fantastic. So yeah, Atticus manages to fly completely unnoticed and just sort of roost up on the underside of the last cart to go through. As it does, it reveals that the dude with the dark glasses, not riding a horse weirdly, is a centaur with a large white stick, and they just sort of like tap their way in, following the last cart.
Oh god.
Alright.
So, Atticus has now made his way in with the explosives.
Right. Nice. So
Lovely. Let's get suited and booted, ladies and gents.
make our great entrance. Try and get a tour of the factory where Atticus can sort of sneak back to Magemak, and we'll get the explosive and plant them, right?
Yep.
Could go wrong.
So,
Yep.
just as a point of note, Magemak,
Mm-hmm.
as long as Atticus is on the same plane of existence as you, it can magically convey what it senses to yourself, and you can communicate telepathically. So as you look around now, you've basically got like a little picture-in-picture in the top right corner of your field of vision that just shows what Atticus can see.
Cool.
At the moment, it is majority the underside of a wagon.
Yeah.
At the moment,
So-
right now, it is very boring.
Is it by a wagon wheel?
It is by a wagon wheel.
Wait.
Also, an impromptu amount, a large volume of ox shit. Okay. So, are you all heading back to get suited and booted?
Seems like the thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll montage this next bit then. So you make your way back to the elemental abode. Your formal robes, let's say, have been prepared by the skilled hands of one of Vasily's elemental aides, one of the air elementals in there.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
The sort of costumes are ready to go, and you will just do a quick passage of time. Say it's about 9 o'clock now. and you've made your way back to the stable yard. The carriage is prepared and ready for you, and you make your way out towards Rosewood Estates. As you arrive at the party, there is a whole line of carriages dropping off various nobles, various dignitaries as part of the investor showcase. The manor itself is illuminated by these almost like spotlights going up. You can see the big stained glass window at the front of the manor with the rosewood apple tree emblem on it. As you watch, you can see the Dragonborn that you saw earlier is just checking people through the gates, just noting names on a clipboard and just waving them through. Can you, as a group, just make me a quick perception check, please?
Sure.
God, my rolls tonight are rubbish.
Have we got to do a perception?
I got 11.
14.
15.
8.
Okay. So, Bagerac and Faix are kind of miffed about what they're having to wear a little bit. It's not as, informal as they're like. Faix, a little bit less so, because you're really impressed with the outfit that you've got, but you don't want to show that you're impressed with wearing fancy clothing.
Classic
Natasha
hot topic
and
bitch.
Magemak, a little bit more aware of what's going on. You notice that as one of the parties disembarks from their carriage and starts to walk through the archway, there is a dark-haired human female, clearly of fairly high standing, walks through absolutely fine. And then her bodyguard goes to walk through, and as they do, all of the crystals around the archway illuminate and freeze the bodyguard in place. And the Dragonborn steps out and holds up a hand and just pushes the bodyguard back through the archway and indicates towards the guard post. And you see them taking a sword out of its scabbard, placing it in, passing it to the guard through the guard post, a dagger from one of their boots, a dagger from one of their wrists, and just passing it to the guard, and then sort of holding their arms out and walking back through the archway again, and this time nothing happens.
Oh, you're not gonna like this, guys.
There's some shit going on.
No, we cannot take weapons in.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna try and get my pimp cane through.
Okay.
Because that's just a wooden stick with a crystal on it. But aside from that, no actual weapons,
In
no
that case,
blades.
can we stash our weapons on the carriage?
We
You
can
can
keep
do
them
it.
on the carriage, but we can't take them into the manor with us.
Because if we're making a sharp exit, we haven't got time to stop and get our weapons back. So
I can cause a distraction. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Don't
Okay.
worry.
So, if you are stashing your weapons on the carriage, what I need you to do on your character sheet is just unequip the weapons. Don't worry about removing them from your inventory or anything. Just deselect the little box
Okay, cool.
where it says equipped or active.
So much for me.
I'm gonna keep my pimp cane just in case.
So my rod and my daggers need to be unequipped.
You're a slight exception. Your dagger is technically part of your arm,
Oh yeah.
so you can't unequip it.
so the only one with a weapon.
Cool. I think I'm done.
But yeah, your rod, your staff would need to be. I don't know. You can potentially try and bluff it off and say it's just like a badge of office.
Yeah.
If you're passing as the Duchess's advisor, you could certainly say, well, this is my official staff.
I'm like
can
Gandalf.
Can I have my official axe?
No.
But it's official.
I think even ceremonial weapons would still trigger as a weapon.
Okay, I think we're good to go.
Yep.
Okay.
Hop. Heavy.
So, your carriage pulls up parallel with the gates, and you can hear the driver hop down. And as they open the door, you hear just this little click, and 2 compartments next to the door deploy a flock of what look like to everyone else doves. They just fly out of the carriage. There are a few folks who have just like decided to walk in. You hear audible gasps from the folks who see this going on.
I also cast Prestidigitation.
Yep.
Vegetation.
And we're going to get fireworks up in this bitch.
Okay, cool. So it's like little sparklers going off. Yeah. Yeah, it is the full ramp entrance going on.
Yeah.
Right there. I'll allow for trumpets with the prestidigitation.
Swinging my pimp cane around. Taking great strides in my halfling pace.
Excellent. So as you stride your way towards the gate, the Dragonborn looks up at you and goes, name?
The Duchess of Faix and entourage.
Just has a quick look over you. Scans through clipboard. My apologies, Your Grace, but you don't seem to be on the list.
Oh my god. Do you not know who this is?
I know they're not on the list. Not on the list, they
Well,
don't get in.
you need to go check with your superior because this lady right here is the guest of honor.
That must be disrespectful, but I checked with my superior before he gave me this list, and he guaranteed me it was 100% correct.
To be disrespectful, but
I
your
cast
superior, isn't it?
suggestion.
Okay. What are you suggesting?
Perhaps you look closer, darling, and you'll see that my name among my entourage is on the list.
What's that? Wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw.
What we're looking to beat?
16.
I look down the list to go. I'm sorry, Your Grace, but you don't appear to be on the list.
I'll have to go home then. Plan B, yeet.
Just when I was supposed to be buying a fleet of these new products, I don't know, I don't understand.
At this point, you hear a voice from behind the gates. Just going, Sirith! Are you troubling my customers again? The Dragonborn turns to see there's a very finely suited male human behind the gate, curly brown hair, wearing a little set of pince-nez, glasses. Let's go. Sorry, sir, they don't appear to be on the list. The human behind the gate goes, well, I'm sure that if they are valuable customers, then they could certainly be made an exception. My apologies. I am Timothée Melange, current CEO of Rosewood Constructs. And you are, my dear?
I
Addressing
am the
Natasha.
Duchess of Faix. Charmed, I'm sure.
Your
Monsieur
Grace.
Melange.
Wonderful to see you. Please, do come in. Sirith, I
You-
apologise. I must have overlooked Her Grace's entry on the list. Please, do come in, make yourself at home, help yourself to refreshments. We have canapes and champagne available. And oh, I see that you've brought one of your own devices. At this point, he's looking at Magemak with a definite interest.
Ah, this is my advisor, Magemak.
Oh, a protocol
very
unit.
nice to meet you.
Charmed indeed. I trust you're from the Eberron workyards.
That is for me to know.
Mysterious as well as informative. Your Grace has excellent taste.
I have my moments. Now tell me, what does a girl have to buy in order to get a tour around here?
Well, my associates will be operating a tour around the facilities every 15 minutes. We've made sure to open our gates up. We recognise that under its previous leadership, Rosewood Constructs was somewhat more insular and only really let the customer in when it suited their needs. But we know that we need to meet the customer's needs, not our own. So please, help yourself to some refreshments. I will make sure that you are on the next tour, which I believe leaves in, and I pull out a little pocket watch, just check. I believe the next tour will be leaving in 10 minutes. I will ensure that you and your entourage are part of it.
Oh, thank you so much, darling. You are an absolute
You are
star.
most welcome, my Grace. I apologise. I must rub shoulders with some of my other
Of
guests
course,
to make
but
sure
of course, my dear, of course.
you understand. You understand how these things are.
Mary.
I'm afraid my foreign languages weren't quite as polished as yours, but I trust you'll have a wonderful time. Please do excuse me. And they wheel away off into
March
the crowd.
2. Anyway.
So as you look around, there are a large number of people sort of crowding the grounds outside the manor. You've got maybe about 10 minutes or so to have a look around, talk to
We
some
need
of
a
the folks.
certain little
if you want
dragon to turn up.
Yeah, Magemak, if you wanted to check in with Atticus, you can see that he has very diligently waited on the underside of this wagon for what is going on for about 9 hours now.
Atticus, come in, boy.
See?
I can still see the underside of a carriage.
You just hear this sort of series of chirps and whistles, and then sort of in your field of vision you can see like text appearing along the bottom of your I'm going to say screen because that's how I sort of picture that's kind of how I picture how you see the world, but along the bottom
Through a monitor.
Yeah, along the bottom you just see this text popping up, sort of a letter at a time, saying, "Master, I have waited underneath the carriage. It smells of ox shit."
I guess you come to me.
Very good, Master. And you can see that the little picture-in-picture image now shows sort of Atticus like dropping down from the carriage, just sort of scuttling off to the side. You can see the cartwheel sort of pass over the top right corner of the little vision, and then he takes off, and you see him sort of flying up and circling around the party. You can see there are lots of way more people than you expected to be here, filling the grounds, and they circle around a couple of times until they spot you amongst the crowd, swoop down and just land on your shoulder. And they're still carrying this little satchel of charges, so they're just kind of like sat on your shoulder now with this little bindle in their mouth.
I suggest maybe the Duchess, who has a quick hand, has them to deploy them.
Yes, yes. Here we are, Atticus. Here we are. Thank you.
Okay. So the
She doesn't bite.
The Duchess is now in possession of the 3 charges. So, the time it's taken for you to get in touch with Atticus and get him to come over, you see a female human at the front doors of the manor saying, "Next tour is leaving. Would the Duchess of Faix and her entourage please make their way to the manor?"
Oh, certainly. Let's go. Entourage. Advance.
So as you make your way towards the group, you are joined by the dark-haired human female that you saw going through the gates before you. They appear to be kind of... the footing seems to be a little bit unsteady, and they've got a glass of champagne in each hand, one of which is sloshing a little bit. Also joining you is a male half-elf with braided red hair and almost like golden skin, looking quite nervous and a little bit unsettled by the whole thing. They're sort of like clutching their drink to their chest and just snacking down on like a little shrimp pastry. Also joining you is a very overweight male dragonborn with these sort of very elaborate robes going on, gold scales, some of them flecked with a little bit of silver, and these piercing ice blue eyes. Bagerac, can you just make me a quick history check, please?
That's a 5.
As a 5. You recognise this guy. You can't put your finger on where you've seen them before. So, as the Rosewood employee gathers you all together, please follow me, and we will show you over the new facilities. So,
I'm gonna nudge Natasha and go, I recognise the fat dragon from somewhere.
Can I make like a... Well, would it be an insight check or an investigation check? Looking at the dragonborn person, see if I recognise them.
you would be looking to... It would be an investigation or history check, your choice.
Ooh, okay. Investigation or history? Investigation. That's a 10.
You have absolutely no idea who this guy is. You've never...
Just gonna be
Moving on.
seen...
Yeah,
You...
so-
Like I say, Bagerac, you swear that you know that face, and it's
I'm
like
going to
it's one of those things where like the name is like on the tip of your tongue and you just can't recall it. Natasha, you have absolutely no idea who this person is.
Cool.
I'm just going to be that awkward bodyguard that keeps getting in the way of everyone. Be like, not too close to the Duchess, so it doesn't look weird if I'm kind of blocking her at any point to hide
Yeah.
dropping things.
Absolutely
it.
fine. Absolutely
Yeah.
fine. So as you make your way through into the ground floor, you can see that this has been remodeled into like a reception area. So there is, you go past like a desk with a sign-in book, a couple of guards sort of patrolling through. The attendant says, "Welcome to Rosewood Constructs. I trust you have all read the pamphlets we sent out with the invitations beforehand, but I'll do a quick recap just in case you didn't have a chance to read it. So, following the unfortunate loss of our former CEO, Dominic Rosewood,
So
Constructs-
terrible.
It was, yes. They seem a little bit just like thrown off. It's almost like they're trying to recall from a script and you've just kind of thrown them out of their rhythm a little bit. So they sort of rally and recover and go...
Do go on.
Following the unfortunate loss of Dominic Rosewood, Rosewood
May he
Constructs
rest.
They stop and have to roll back in their head. Rosewood Constructs took ownership of the Rosewood estate and turned it into the new Rosewood Constructs Operations Centre. What you're seeing here is the reception space, which was formerly the foyer. And if you'll follow me through, I will now show you to our new showroom. And as you make your way through from the reception area, you come into a larger open space with this very tall armoured figure on a plinth. It literally looks like a very tall suit of armour made of this like blue steel metal. This is our new Mobile Autonomous Construct Professional Edition, designed with modular capability for any task our clients require. And they wave a hand. Autonomous, yes. These constructs are designed to entirely operate based on a predefined set of instructions set by yourself, and will carry out that task to the best of their ability 24 hours a day, 8 days a week.
But 8 days a week isn't enough to show you care.
I was
True,
going to say,
but they
maybe
do
the
operate
Duchess
at a
wants
much
to get
higher
closer look
efficiency.
at it.
Say again, sorry, Bagerac?
Maybe the Duchess wants to get a closer look at it.
Yes, may I?
Oh, certainly, Your Grace. Please feel free to take a closer look. If I could direct the attention of the rest of the group, here we have the modular components that go alongside
Mind
it,
if
and
I
they
do?
start
And I make a
demonstrating.
performance of shaking the hand. And I slip the thing in there and then close the hand about it.
Cool. If you can make me a sleight of hand check, please. The showroom attendant is not paying a huge amount of attention, so this is a fairly easy check. However, there are
Okay.
two guards doing the rounds.
11.
11? Yeah,
Yeah.
just. You just managed to... Like, the guards sort of step up and go, excuse me, can you not...
That's enough touching.
Apologies, could you not interfere with the displays?
No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, darling. There
Don't be
you
that
are.
annoying guy in the way. Please get away from the Duchess. She's just looking.
It's quite right. We understand. It's just this is a display model, and we wouldn't want it to upset it. This is part of the showroom. And they continue on their patrol whilst the attendant is sort of demonstrating all of the modular components that go along with the new model. You can change out the hands. You can change out the armor. You can it's designed entirely so you can just literally
Give
swap
it a
out
vacuum
bits and pieces
cleaner,
for
spray
whatever
a duster.
purpose you need. Yeah. So if you would like to follow me, we'll move on up to the first floor where we have our new office space and our R&D departments. As you can see here, we have converted what were previously the bed chambers and living spaces of the Rosewood family into a more informal but functional office space. We have our finance department, our purchasing department. We have our team here who have dealt with the construction and renovation of Rosewood Manor. And we also have our R&D department where our clever little boffins are already hard at work on the next great advancements to improve the MAC Pro Edition that we will be demonstrating tonight.
Intriguing. There's only the two places that we needed, right?
We need the control room, the master controls, and they didn't say anything for the third. But R&D seems a good place.
R&D does seem like a good place. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna try and sneak a bomb in somewhere.
Okay. How are you trying to sneak the bomb in? So, just saying for you, at the moment you're kind of just being led past this glass-fronted office space. So you're not actually gone into the R&D department. You can see inside of it through the window, and there is obviously a door marked R&D, but you've not been led into that area.
Can I just make it like kind of balance against the wall, like flush with like the coping or something?
So you're
It's
looking
quite
to
a
just
small
like
little
disguise,
thing.
you just disguise it against the wall.
Yes.
Cool, that's fine. If you make me another
Sleight of
dexterity
hand.
check, please.
Oh, let's try that again. All right, that's another 10.
As you go to slip it against like a little bit of the architectural detail, one of the guards sort of steps over and goes, "Excuse me, is everything okay? Do you need anything?"
Oh yes. Oh no, I just had a bit of a blood rushing to the head. It's that champagne, you know. I had a few earlier festivities with a wonderful performance act I saw the other day. And so I just wanted to lean up against the wall a little and just rest.
Okay. Well, if you do need anything, just let one of us
Of
know.
course, darling.
Champagne, please.
You're such a more champagne! More champagne for the bodyguard. She's earned it. She worked so hard today. She saved me from a dagger, you know.
Certainly, that's very brave. We'll see to it right away. And the guards
Yes,
sort of
thank
carry
you.
off
Chop
on
chop.
their patrol route, and as they pass like another one of the serving staff, then just sort of see them whispering to them, they sort of nod and scuttle off. The tour continues up
Did you manage to
onto
drop that charge in or not? That's...
up on it's certainly planted. Yes, yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
second charge is planted on the next to the R&D office, and make your way up onto the second floor. And here is the true nerve center of our operation. Here we have our current chairman's office, Mr. Melange.
Delightful fellow.
He is, and I'll be honest, he has been a real lifesaver after the tragic loss of Dominic Rosewood. We were very
So
much adrift.
terrible that he passed.
Yes, it is truly a loss to ourselves and the industry in general.
To us all.
To us all, yes. We he was really the very heart of the company, and we all felt his loss. But Mr. Melange has come along and reinvigorated the company and really brought us back from the brink, and we really think that the future is going to be incredibly bright for Rosewood constructs moving forward. I know I've recently been able to purchase myself a new house. My family, we've moved in there. My husband.
I feel you're really going to blow up on the scene, darling. Don't you worry.
My 2 children, we're all very happy there. Very happy to be here today and working with such a visionary.
Yes.
You can't take these things for granted because you never know when it might end.
Exactly.
Oh, it might just blow up in your face.
Exactly. And here we have the the real nerve center of the operation. This is our master control room. This is responsible for the maintenance and monitoring of all the active units we have in operation. If any unit sustains any severe damage that its internal repair mechanisms can't deal with, we will be immediately alerted, and we'll be able to dispatch a maintenance team to take care of that within a matter of hours. It also allows us to...
Ava, darling, may I ask a favour? Could you humour a duchess in her age, and just like allow me to pose in front of the master control desk and be looking like I'm all powerful, like Monsieur Melange?
Oh, does your mechanical assistant have an image capture facility?
Yes, image capture. Yes.
Certainly. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, could I ask for the whole tour group to get together
Certainly.
and capture the
Certain.
image?
Would they like
With-
to be at the front of the desk, and I could be at the back, like acting all powerful? It's just to humor me,
I mean,
darling.
it would look wonderful in the newsletter.
Yes,
it
you
would
could be
be-
all on your knees like my peons.
It would be fantastic if everyone's agreeable to this, and there's a sort of general like semi-drunken murmuring of the Dragonborn that's followed you goes, "Ha! Champion idea! Let's do it!"
Yes.
Um,
To the front you go.
As you go
Mr.
into the control room,
Mr.
you can
Dragonborn.
see that in the centre is this fairly huge green crystal, similar to the original one that you saw in the basement,
Mhm.
but in a much better condition. The casing around it is much more elaborate and ornate. There are pedestals set around it with various like sort of runestones and notations built into the surfaces. So yeah, it's just like, yeah. If you all gather round, and she places a hand on Magemak's shoulder and goes, "Would you like for your dragon to be part of the photographic image?"
No.
Okay, no worries. Then he can just stay there. If you want to just stand here, sort of like positions you next to the door. It's like, okay, everyone, if you can all gather round, and then looks back over to Magemak. Goes, is this close enough? Do we need to squeeze in a bit more? You got us all.
Looks fine to me.
Well, excellent, brilliant. Okay, so
Can I ask? Is there like a cup of cold coffee? I kind of imagine there would be on like a control desk or something, or like a mug of some sort.
maybe an investigation check.
Okay. $16.
16. Yeah, you know what? There is actually an unattended beverage next to one of the control consoles with a little note attached to it saying, "Brian, please clear your shit away."
Okay, cool. Cool. I slip the explosive into the mug.
Cool, that's fine. Yeah, you can
Sound.
see it's like there's enough of a beverage left in it to just like completely submerge.
Submerge it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, the tour guys. Okay, whenever you're ready, sir, we'll smile for the image capture.
Okay.
Cheese.
And as you say cheese, I thrust my fingers down my throat. Oh God!
Oh, God.
Oh dear God!
What champagne have you given her? She
Oh!
only drinks Moet.
Oh my goodness. Oh God.
Oh, don't come back here! It's everywhere! It's everywhere! Don't come back here!
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh.
oh,
Are you?
oh! I'm so ashamed.
Oh goodness. And you can see
It's
that
everywhere.
the attendant's like sort of like dry heaving a little bit, just like, oh, please, if everyone could make your way back out into the hallway, please.
I want to go home.
If you can all just come on out, I'll arrange to have the cleaning crew come and take care of this.
Oh, I must go home.
must
I
take
must
her
go
home.
home.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll just take the
Such is the
Duchess
thing.
as I sort of grab and
Oh,
carry her
no.
out.
by
oh,
by all means, quickly,
Oh.
let's get you out of here. I'm so terribly
I've been
sorry.
saying yes
you-
all
do you-
day, and now it's no.
Do you have any food allergies that might have caused that?
No.
I mean, we did make sure on the invitations to say that
It's
some
all
of the-
right. Just let
the
me go
shellfish and
home.
some nuts and just please. Okay, if we'll just
She only
we'll
drinks
just
Moet.
as she ushers you out of the room, she sort of like flags down two guards, and starts to sort of escort you out of the premises. As you make your way down the stairs, you pass a very confused-looking member of the household staff carrying a tray with more champagne on.
Champagne.
No.
And
As
you
we
make-
leave, you know the Dragonborn that searched us?
yeah,
Sirith, is he still out there?
he's still on the gate. Yeah.
Cool. I accidentally swipe my vomit-stained hand across his face as we leave.
Who looks
So sorry.
really unimpressed.
Oh, I am so very ill. Oh, I do apologize. Oh, Sirith.
I'll have your carriage brought round. And he just
Please
snaps his
do.
fingers, and one of the little
Don't
valets just
forget the
like
doves.
runs off. Oh, the doves are gone.
I mean, they're homing pigeons. They'll find their way back home. It's fine.
Exactly. It was part of the bargain.
Yeah.
So the carriage pulls up, and as you're getting in, you can hear like the sort of the festivities are starting kicking off. You hear the music picking up, and you can't make out exactly what's being said, but you can hear Timothy Melange is starting to make a speech as you hop into the carriage
What time is it?
To our fortress.
and start to drive away. It is about 5 minutes to midnight.
Fucking yeet it.
Oh,
At
yeah.
this point.
Haven't we got a 2-hour journey to make?
Drive, driver.
So you are in the carriage, and the driver is a little confused as to your immediate haste, but seeing the vomit stains down Natasha's otherwise elegant dress is
Beautiful
is
time.
nonetheless convinced that it's time to get a move on. And you can hear the sounds of the party fading away in the background. And it goes quiet, and you just feel the carriage rumbling through the streets, hitting the cobbles. When all of a sudden the carriage comes to a stop. Now, you know that you've not been going far enough to make it back to either the stable yard or to the theatre at this point.
Because we need Atticus.
Atticus
Nope.
is in the carriage with you. It's been on
Time.
Magemak's shoulder the whole time.
He needs to get us to our destination.
That is for escapes only.
This is an escape.
We die
need to-
otherwise.
We need to escape the bombs we've just placed. Escape.
Escape.
You hear a knocking on the carriage door.
Yeah. I'll wind down the window.
As you wind down the window, you look out into the street, and you can see that there are two large guards in dark leather armour.
Are you like?
Standing between them is Chief Auditor Welby. And he looks up at you and goes, "Well, you appear to be making a quick exit."
The Duchess is ill. Haven't you heard?
Oh. Did she forget to take her medication or something else to the party? He holds out his hand and presents the fourth charge.
Oh, I did wonder where, because you said 4, but we only had 3, and I was wondering what had happened to the 4th one. But it was with you the entire time. It's kind of like more, it's not how we completed the adventure, but the friends we made along the way.
Well, to be perfectly honest, we packed enough.
We should
arcane-
go. These explosions, we beefed them up a little bit
Because we were missing one.
Yeah.
because we were missing one.
Don't worry, we won't hold it against you.
Oh no.
Well, we do need to go.
I'm sure that there's enough explosives packed into the original charges that I gave to you to deal with this situation.
But we added more. It will half a mountain
Each.
each.
That's a mountain and a half.
We need to go!
Well, I trust that the charges were planted in the locations I specified.
Yes! And the
They're not-
R&D department. I excelled myself.
So,
They're
to
not bombs, are
clarify,
they?
you managed to plant one on one of their new prototypes
Huh?
They're not bombs, are they?
and the master control unit.
They're not bombs. They're like portals or something. He's gonna steal all the goods.
They are bombs now, because
Yeah, I was going to say, they are bombs now!
They can steal bombs.
Well, that seems impressive work. The Order will be pleased, at least for a short term. And you feel this sort of dull thud just transmit through the carriage.
God.
And I'm going to need all of you to make a strength saving throw.
Can I neck a potion?
You can certainly try.
I believe I get advantage.
Oh, no.
Only while raging.
7?
12.
11.
Bagerac?
15.
Okay, so with the exception of Natasha, you all managed to maintain your seats. Natasha, you are thrown quite bodily forward in the carriage.
It's understandable,
Yeah.
I'm a halfling.
And
Yeah.
you hear this enormous boom as the first of the charges starts to go off. As you look outside the carriage, you can see that Welby is now pulling on a black robe with crimson detailing over their
Oh,
smart
God.
clothes,
Fuck's sake.
with the guards doing the
Why?
same.
Why is it always these guys?
Guys are
Well-
assholes!
I got matching costume.
I believe our debt here is settled. You may go.
We
to-
really are the bad guys.
How much of the can we see from where we are? How much of this is it just blown up the mansion, or quite a bit round it?
Do you want to take a look outside the carriage?
Is there a
Yes.
dust cloud coming towards us?
Yeah, well, I kind of want to get back to our fortress. Then can we see from there?
Well, it depends. At the moment, you felt the explosion, but you've not seen anything.
No, I don't want to get out the carriage because there's probably going to be debris flying everywhere.
There's windows.
I'll put my head out, seeing as I put the window down.
As you look back towards Rosewood Estates, you can see that there is this enormous cyclone of red and purple energy swirling above the estate. And as you stick your head out, you hear this as the second charge goes off. And there is this enormous bolt of lightning that strikes up into the cyclone. And as you look back, you can see Welby and the guards are just sort of looking at this and smiling.
It's going to teleport the whole fucking facility somewhere, isn't it?
Mm.
And as you continue looking, you hear a as the third charge goes off, and the cyclone drops to the floor, and there is this enormous, ear-shattering sound as the entirety of the Rosewood estate is engulfed by this enormous orb of crimson and purple lightning.
I hate these guys.
That doesn't
Really
sound
horrific.
too helpful during teleportation, though.
But what
Welby
happened to
says,
the extra
"Well,
explosives I put in it.
the gateway is open. You should probably run to however many hours of your life you have left."
Oh, fuck.
Mm.
This feels like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode all of a sudden.
I wanted way more death than this. Can I try and...
I think we've just
stab-
created the end of the world. So, hooray.
What happened to the explosives? God damn.
I think it was all a trick.
Yeah, but I had extras put in.
Yeah, but the magic is strong with this one.
So now there's a giant purple lightning, red lightning orb round where used to be the estate.
There is this cataclysmic arcane
Is it too late to
electrical
cast
storm.
counterspell?
It might be beyond the scope of what counterspell covers at this point.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll just have to do what he says and yeet it away.
I guess we have to run.
For now.
We'll
Let's
be
go tell
back.
Lord, he'll fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wouldn't have happened if Lours was about.
It's all their fault.
As the carriage makes its way down the street, with a understandably deeply concerned driver behind the reins, Faye, as you look back, you see that Welby takes a step towards you to face the carriage, and his entire body starts shimmering and shifting. Could you just make me a quick history check, please?
Oh, it's definitely M's fault now.
Advantage. Woo. 18.
As the carriage trundles away and Welby almost goes out of sight, you see his body grow taller, his head becomes elongated, and you recognise that he's taken on the form of the creature that you encountered in the cave along the Delimbir River. The strange alien presence that was using the boat crews to summon
Oh, fuck.
the little insect creatures into this realm. And at the same time, you see both of the guards take on the form of these sort of large, green-skinned, winged creatures, each one carrying this sort of fairly brutal-looking sword. As the carriage
Good.
rolls away along the street, you see Welby, just the creature that you knew as Welby, sort of turns and just drifts up into the air, and the two guards flex their wings and follow on after him.
Da da da.
Well, this will make a good drinking story.
And that is the story of how you inadvertently started the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Job well.
Join us next time for a total wipe kill.
And that brings us to the end of this evening's adventure. Thank you to everyone for playing and for everyone either watching or listening along in chat. Before we go, please make sure to check out M's donation page for the ration challenge. Donations are still going on to that until December, am I right?
About 10 days left on it.
10 days left to
It's too
donate
many.
on that. Quick recap, between 13th and 19th of September, M took on the same food rations as a Syrian refugee for 1 week in order to raise money for the Ration Challenge UK in partnership with Concern Worldwide. Money raised has helped provide emergency food, hygiene kits and life-saving support to refugees, as well as supporting Concern Worldwide's wider work of ending hunger and extreme poverty in the world's poorest places. I believe last time I checked your total, you were at £890.
I was just pulling it up now.
Something
I
like that.
am. £894.92.
Nice. So donations on that are open until start of December. So please give what you can if you haven't done so already. Magemak, also known as Davesprout, is streaming this week over at twitch.tv/Davesprout. Dave, what have we got coming up on streams this week?
Probably some more League of Legends. I'm going to look to practice some more World of Final Fantasy and speedrun that. So that should be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. Excellent. Anyone else have any other projects that they wish to plug before we sign off?
Not as of yet. Let me I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Nanny.
Cool.
I'll have my people contact your people.
That sounds great. That's no worries. Okay, so we will be back in 2 weeks' time on Sunday, the 6th of December at 7:30 UK time.
Hopefully with more moral conscience.
Mhm.
Well, you guys accidentally started the apocalypse, so prepare for like some severe guilt tripping, I'd imagine.
Lours is going to be so pissed at
Yeah, you
us.
guys are not gonna
He's
hit
gonna
the
go
end.
on and on,
And
we're just gonna
James
be
is going to
like,
have some sarcastic
Big
shit
Bird's
to
Only
gonna
say.
going
moan.
off on one.
Fucking
oh,
Um,
he's just
Druid.
gonna be tweeting and yakking and clawing. He's
With
gonna
that,
get in a right
folks-
flap.
Jesus. Right. So yeah, with that, everyone stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, keep your distance, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Good night, Dice
No.
Roll fans.
Bye-bye.